goes off.
Of course.
So this was the first bedroom the first room we did renovated, wasn't it, really?
Cheers. Yeah. Have we actually spent a night in here?
No, we haven't yet. We should do.
Yeah.
Just to try it out.
It's really nice. It's kind of got this beautiful green, which, was it Mylands, Brompton Road?
Brompton Road is the colour, yeah. Both here and here. Lovely.
It's kind of very soothing. It sort of gives a nice ambience. So one of the things I like about having kind of a darker ceiling and walls is it's sort of, you're not like looking up and then being dazzled by kind of bright light shining up. We've sort of lifted the light off the floor rather than off the ceiling. So it's quite unconventional, but we saw it in, where was it? Austria? I think it was.
Yeah, hotel in Zurich.
Yeah.
During lockdown, actually, we were there skiing and we saw it there and we're like, oh, it works really well. And then remembered it, but it's lovely. And the good thing is the ceilings can take it because it's so high.
Yeah.
This is a really tall room, isn't it?
What I really liked though was the cornicing. The cornicing.
It was a good idea.
Yeah, it looked really good. The one thing that was really tricky was getting these lines perfect. I actually came up with kind of quite a clever little hack for how to sort of cut in lines really, really well, which was basically using a sort of a painting knife, and you just put a little bit of paint on it on this piece of metal, and it's good for just kind of like if you get any little blobs that aren't quite straight, just for sort of tidying them up a bit.
And now looking at
I'm sure there's a couple of bits that I missed.
No, it's really good to actually look at it with fresh eyes again from a different, because we haven't actually sat in the bed yet. Like there's a bit there we missed on the corner.
There is, yeah.
And there.
But I mean, as far as lines go, we've got it pretty straight, I think. Look at the door. I mean, that's quite hard to get. The amount of times I've tried with masking tape and it's just bled everywhere and gone all over the place. So I think we've done quite well to get the lines as straight as we have.
So yeah, so this was an easy room. This was an easy win for us, wasn't it? Because it was already had this lovely kind of faux panelling all the way around anyway.
The click flooring is like, that was there already.
Yeah.
We probably, I mean, with such an old building, we probably wouldn't have gone for something like that. It's useful in places like bathrooms, but...
We didn't know what was underneath it. Maybe it was unsalvageable.
Well, I don't think it looks bad anyway. It's all right.
I think if we had a big rug anyway underneath this whole area, it'd be fine.
Yeah, we
don't really
totally
see
need
much
a rug
of it.
in here. Didn't we have
That's
one
what
at
it's
some
missing,
point?
isn't it?
Yeah, it's just missing a big rug. But rugs are so expensive. I found some quite good ones, but they've never been kind of quite big enough for rooms of this size.
So the curtains, let's talk about the curtains. We were in a massive rush and we were trying to find off-the-peg curtains that were long enough, tall enough, long enough.
Yeah, long enough. I actually really like the curtains. They kind of fit quite nicely with the sort of Brompton Road green. It's just they are not quite long enough, isn't it? It's the main issue. Not quite long enough. Like a full foot short.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
We were desperate. We had no time because the film crew were about to come out and film, and we only had like a day to run around and buy everything to get ready to film for this weekend. And when you're filming, it's not like you can nip out and go and buy stuff. You have to have everything kind of ready. So those are the closest thing we could get. And then when we hung them, we were like, oh God, they're miles away. So luckily the film crew were very generous in their filming. When they were panning around, they kind of went, oh. So we will replace them one day, but for now. The thing is, the shutters work incredibly well, blocking out the light, don't they?
Yeah. I mean,
it's like pitch black in here.
The downside on shutters is that
they
rot, but that's not too bad. If we just need to paint them and they'll be fine. When it's really windy, you get the kind of you get rattling all around the house as the shutters are bashing into each other. And the first night it was really scary, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. But actually, you quite quickly get used to the sort of banging sounds, and then they're brilliant. They kind of keep the light out and keep the heat out when it's really, really hot, or in when it's really, really cold. So yeah, they've been a bit of a blessing, but we do have to do some serious repairs on some of them.
And anyway, from there to here. Yeah, let's talk about this headboard, which is incredible. I can't believe you made it.
It was a
From
team effort.
scratch.
You helped out loads as well.
I had to come in when you were panicking on camera and
I
you were worried.
never would have finished it if Chris hadn't
No
helped
way.
out. So
But it feels really, well, it is solid, it's chunky, it's lovely.
I had like these grand ambitions for sort of all sorts of little things around the side, but actually the simplicity of it is really,
I love
really
that
nice.
it's bigger than the bed.
Yeah. What we wanted was to be able to put the plug sockets on the headboard.
Oh, yes.
So we kind of I installed plug sockets on each side of the headboard, and we just wanted to kind of make it much bigger and so that you weren't just kind of pressed up against the wall. So our plan is to obviously put this up against the wall, but because we've got this wall panelling, this tongue and groove wall panelling, I've been cutting it off here so we can get it really flush up against the wall. Another thing, after we've done that, we want to, if there's enough wire, pull these wires through. It might be a little bit tight, but if we can do it without getting an electrician out, we'll want to place new plugs on the front of the headboard. But yeah, we'll see if there's enough wire in there. But I basically used a box. I basically used a box that I made out of plywood, and then put MDF sort of strips. I put MDF strips along here, and then got some decorative moulding which we put inside, and that's kind of it. This was another. Okay, I'll try again one more time. I used plywood to make a box, which I then built up with these MDF strips, and then put the kind of mouldings that I just brought from a shop, cut them to size, fit them in with Chris's help. Why are you chuckling? But yeah, we got there in the end. Ultimately, these fit in quite nicely. The nail gun was a nightmare, but we got there ultimately.
And then we caulked all of the gaps.
Every gap and all of the little holes where the screws went in as well. And then had to make a space for this nice little decorative piece at the top.
Yeah, it looks so
Fix
good.
it all together and then attach the plug sockets, which we didn't actually do on the telly. We left that till afterwards, but it looks pretty good.
And then we drilled a massive...
Oh, just fixing it on the wall was a nightmare. On the TV show, we were able to just kind of like press it up against the wall and be like, ta-da, finished. In reality, trying to get it to fix to the wall was a bugger, wasn't it?
It really was, but now it's solid because we didn't want any rocking headboards for guests.
Yeah, you don't want like that banging through the house as, so you've got some guests
as we're trying to
staying.
get comfortable, go and sleep, etc.
So we ended up with the like world's longest bolt, because you've got kind of behind here, it's plasterboard, and the actual wall is probably another sort of 5 centimetres away. So we've got kind of a really, really long screw that goes all the way through the headboard, through the plasterboard, right into the wall behind it. And that was the only way we managed to get it to hold together, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it looks really good.
What else can we say about this room?
One of the things I find a bit challenging is some of the pictures feel a bit small for the room. I think this is one room where I think either we need bigger pictures or we need to kind of cluster the pictures a bit more.
I think it's a good start.
It's a good start, yeah. And eventually, with all the visits to the brocantes, we'll get more pictures, and gradually we'll kind of fill the walls.
I love the area by the dressing table.
The dressing table looks amazing, and it's got this kind of beautiful marble top. I think it was actually a toilet.
With a wash basin.
Well, I think they might have put like a little toilet bowl in there.
Yeah, but you had a wash basin on the top.
Ah, and that's where you have the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you got like, yeah, what's really clever is when you open it up, the top slides forwards, and so it creates enough space for the lid to open behind it, which I think is really clever. Because otherwise the lid would just kind of keep falling down. So it's quite a clever design.
Dressing table.
What I love about it as well is we saw one in a brocante and didn't manage to buy it because someone else, it was already sold. We're like, this is perfect. And it was already sold, vendu. But the very next day we found another one in another brocante, and there it was perfect. It just needed a little bit of TLC to bring it to life, and there it is. It looks great. I also found this is actually just a Laura Ashley lamp, which we just kind of painted basically. We used the same paint on the walls, just to kind of make it blend in. But again, it looks kind of quite a nice proportion for the room and works really well in here. So we won this lamp in an auction and got it for absolutely peanuts, but just tried it in the room and the white is a little bit too bold. Its presence in the room, it sort of sticks out a bit too much. So we're basically knocking it back with the paint colour from the walls to sort of hopefully make it kind of blend in a little bit. But yeah, it's I always find it a bit sad painting sort of furniture. Lighting, I guess it's lighting, isn't it? But I mean, it was white already and I think it should look great. Yeah, so ultimately we're really happy with this room. Little changes that I'd make given time is I'd love to put a ceiling rose on, which I think we'll do at some point. Yeah. And basically just bigger pictures, because the ones we've got are really good kind of placeholders, but in time I'm sure we'll find like beautiful pieces of artwork that we can put up. But
this was great. This was already here when we moved in and we just put it above the bed.
Yeah, it was above the stairs. It was at the top of the stairs, wasn't it? So yeah,
I quite like it. It's a good size.
Looks really nice.
Goes with the green.
Again, it was a bit of a challenge fixing it to the wall, but look, works really well. And again, it's really nice room for looking out onto the cows and being able to sort of shout down and say, "Good morning, cows." They just kind of stare up gormlessly, but they'll come over and they'll actually sort of go, "Oh, hello." So yeah, anyway, this was... It's you that does it.
Cow. Ooh, hello. Hello, doggy. Cowie.
Anyway, I think we're probably done. We are tired after a long day of DIY. I am tempted to just fall asleep in this bed, and we definitely should spend a night here at some point. But
yeah, it's good to try it out, actually. I think those light bulbs could come down a little bit. Let's see what it looks like with the ambient lighting on.
Ambiance. Oh, much better. Yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah, on that note, night-night.
Night-night.
Got ready, Jolyon.